If you guys aren't up to date with what's been going on lately, then let me explain. Basically, Chris Tyson from MrBeast has been doing HRT for the last few months, and now I guess you could say he's transgender. After this news was revealed, a lot of people started attacking him on Twitter, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. If you want to know the full details, I recently made a video discussing the whole situation. Check it out if you get the chance, but I bring this up once again because the drama has expanded over to another person, SunnyV2. SunnyV2 is a commentary channel that makes a lot of rise and fall videos on other YouTubers, and just recently, he made a video talking about Chris becoming trans and how it could affect the MrBeast brand, and after this video was made, it was met with a ton of backlash. People on Twitter began bashing SunnyV2 really hard, like people were actually really angry at the video and what SunnyV2 had to say. Here's a few examples of what people on Twitter are saying. This is one of the most dog shit videos I've ever seen. Sunny's conclusion practically blames Chris for not taking the MrBeast brand into account before transitioning Lamau. Imagine showing such little regard for the welfare of a human being. SunnyV2 just openly being transphobic now. Just got done watching a new SunnyV2 video and I gotta say I want my 9 minutes and 8 seconds back. SunnyV2 new video about Chris is kinda cringe. Since SunnyV2 is an asshole, let's at least appreciate how pretty Chris looks in the thumbnail. SunnyV2 is a clown, the wording of this title is awful. Chris being who they are is not going to be a nightmare for Jimmy's brand, unless you're a transphobe I guess. Supporting a friend isn't a business transaction. This new SunnyV2 video feels really invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delved into the man's marriage and shit, it's just really off-putting and unnecessary. So yeah, people are just really pissed. If you haven't watched the video, then you're probably scratching your head thinking, what exactly did SunnyV2 do wrong? Well, I'm here to answer that question. SunnyV2 did the most horrible crime that you could ever commit. Absolutely nothing. He did nothing wrong, and his whole drama is pointless and misplaced. Now I will admit that the video wasn't perfect. There are some points that Sunny makes that are pretty bad, which I'll get to later, but overall, he doesn't say or do anything in the video that deserves the amount of backlash he's getting. What people seem to not understand about SunnyV2's videos is that he's not expressing his own honest opinions, he's just sharing information and sometimes creating theories and speculation based on the information that exists. In this video specifically, he's talking about how Chris becoming trans could affect the MrBeast brand, and he's making this claim based on actual evidence. Just take a look at this clip for example.
However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example, in a recent livestream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, Mr. Beast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
See what I mean? He's not expressing his own honest opinions on the situation, he's just taking actual facts and using them to create an argument. He never once says in the video whether he supports Chris or not. He's only showing how Chris becoming trans could affect MrBeast as a whole. Now like I said before, there are some things he says in the video that are pretty bad. For example, SunnyV2 basically compares Chris being trans to the identity politics that exists in modern Hollywood. Here's exactly what he says.
MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video.
The problem with this argument is that Chris isn't a fictional character in a movie, he's a real human being that exists on this planet, so comparing him to forced LGBT characters is kind of dehumanizing if you ask me. Another example, SunnyV2 says at the end of the video that Chris basically should have thought of MrBeast before making this decision. Here's the exact clip.
Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
Just like with the other argument, SunnyV2 isn't taking into account that Chris is an actual human being and not a product owned by some big company. I do kind of agree that Chris should think of how others will be affected by his decision, specifically his wife and child, but sometimes in life it's perfectly fine to put yourself first. I mean, it's not like Chris is committing some horrible crime, he's just trying to do something that will make him more happy in life. So yeah, overall, the video isn't perfect by any means, and you could argue that it didn't need to be made, but the backlash is pretty ridiculous in my honest opinion. Like, just because SunnyV2 made a few bad points in the video does not automatically mean he's transphobic and a bad person. Like I said, he never once said in the video whether he supports Chris or not. He's just explaining how Chris being trans could have a negative impact on the MrBeast brand. That's totally it. He's just taking actual facts that exist and using them to come to a conclusion about this whole thing. I mean, are we going to forget the amount of backlash that Chris has received in the last few weeks? It's no secret that a lot of people don't support him being trans, so it's really ironic that SunnyV2 is receiving this type of backlash. I actually made a tweet calling this out. I thought I might as well mention that. Anyways, I really just don't get what it is with Twitter. Like, people on Twitter will find any excuse they can to be angry, even if it's something good that people should be happy about. For example, MrBeast curing people's blindness. They'll find a way to be angry about it. But yeah, I thought I might as well talk about this because it really amazes me how so many people are misinterpreting SunnyV2's video. Like, yeah, he's not perfect. There have been times where he's made bad videos, and there's also clickbaited, which I really hate. But all this anger and frustration on Twitter is completely misplaced, and I really wish people would take the time to actually understand the full context and not jump to conclusions. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and peace out.